Hello, everybody, and welcome. There are plenty of space here. You know that the best and maybe the only way for many of us to come to the islands is to go with Styrsöbolaget. And we will be listening to them now. They will talk about how Styrsöbolaget needs to adapt to the current and upcoming environmental requirements. Today, Styrsöbolaget have 5 vessels that have been converted to a hybrid operation. 15 vessels will be adapted in one way or another to environmentally friendly traffic in the near future. So let me introduce Elinor Svensson and Torbjörn Cederberg. Hello. You have both, 32 years of experience at Styrsöbolaget. Is that right?
Yes, we both started it in 2006.
So that would say 16 years each.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. And what do you do at Styrsöbolaget, Elinor?
I work as a business developer, so I'm responsible for the agreement between the BTA and for our passenger traffic and also for the freight traffic.
And you, Torbjörn?
I'm a technical superintendent, so my responsibility for maintenance and certificates and new building and so on.
Okay. Right, the stage is yours. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, should stand like this. So why is this an important question? The easiest way would be to run the traffic in the same way as we do today, but that's not an option. We need to lower our environmental impact, and we can only do that by starting to do things differently from today. We must stop using fossil fuels. We must start to build things with a less weight. But we're also changing our behaviors like eco-driving or taking the train or buy less things. It's not about doing this or that. We have to do both. In 2016, the Paris Agreement was focused on the global warming. And today we have a global warming by 1 degree, and we have seen things that happens in our world. And the Paris Agreement says that we have to keep the heating down to beneath 2 degrees. Every 5 years, the Paris Agreement is renewed. So in Glasgow in 2021, we all agreed that we have to reduce the fossil fuel use and stop using fossil fuels. The Paris Agreement says that all countries must contribute and those with the best conditions must take the lead. And in Sweden is a country, where we can make a difference today. We have the technology, we have the possibility to develop, and we also have a lot of know-how within the universities, but also in the Swedish companies. For Styrsöbolaget, this means that we have started a change right now. Our PTA has promised to reduce the fossil fuels combustions by 90% to 2035, and that is just 13 years from now. In Sweden today, we have 350 ships that works with passenger traffic or vehicle traffic. And these ships has to be rebuilt or replaced within 13 years. We at Styrsöbolaget, we have 20 ships. 5 of them are prepared, but we have to change 15 ships in the closest 13 years. And there is some challenges, and some challenges are bigger than others. Of course, if you're going to rebuild 350 ships in Sweden in 13 years, that will need a lot of investments. Green investments will not be profitable in a short term, but it's necessary for our future. It is important that the Swedish government and the European Union will make contributes for the companies that are providing the traffic. And also the timetables that we are running today, the easiest way to run the timetables is by using fuel. But that's not an option. We have ferries that run for 18 hours without any stops. They are just stopping for 5 minutes and off they go again. And if we're going to electrify these ferries, we're going to need new timetables and more ferries because we need to stop the ferries more than 5 minutes.
But we see the technical solutions. We already have them today. We know we have the knowledge, we have the experience. But how much investments is required? Building a new fleet would be the easiest way, I think, but is it sustainable? Our fleet, Styrsöbolagets fleet, have an age of between 5 to 40 years, and there are different types of ships. We have heavy ships, high-speed crafts, smaller ro-ro ferries, and a few more. Materials in steel, aluminum, carbon fiber, and even fiberglass. We have different types of powertrains, one or two propellers, fixed gears, reversing propellers, one or two main engines, azimuth systems, and maybe even a few more systems installed. I have worked in the marine sector for 35 years, first as a professional fisherman here on Donsö, and now various employment on Styrsöbolaget. I have several years of experience from projects in diesel electric, hybrid technology, battery installations, battery installations of the fleet we operate today. As recently, this Monday, Eloise started to operate the second shuttle ferry of the city of Gothenburg with 100% fossil-free operation, a project we are very proud to be a part of. We have to do the adaptation, some adaptation of the fleet to the future. Our fleet have different standards, but regardless of any energy source that we will be required for the future, this fleet has many years left to operate. The quality requirements we run today mean a high level of travelers' experience regarding comfort, accessibility, and even service. Our fleet is continuously updated with new equipment, furnishing, and improvements that make it well adapted to the travel requirements of the future. And as Eleanor already said, we have huge challenges in front of us, and the charging infrastructure will be the most difficult thing to solve. We know what opportunities we have on the ship's technical solutions regarding to electrical power. For those who have been involved in this type of project, know that charging solution is usually the most difficult part. Unfortunately, it is seen that the practical part regarding the charging infrastructure is difficult to solve. Access to electricity, handling, and technical support.
And there is also a problem that we own the ships, but the infrastructure is not ours. It's the Gothenburg city or some person that owns the harbor. So we have to run our ships everywhere. And so that's the problem, that we're not in charge of the land infrastructure as well.
And it's also be very costly to have specific solutions for each vessel. And it is in this area that a few standard solutions are required. In order to make waterborne public transport fossil-free, a clean line is urgently required. We see the automotive industry, the development going very fast in terms of charging and accessibility. We should use that experience also in our marine installations. The requirement specification that will be set for the future charging station is marine area are crucial for these projects. Ownership of land, access of electricity, and type of constructions for the stations will have a big impact on how we move forward. At the same time, we need to, as Eleanor already have told about, we talk about the timetables, and even you see at the same time we need to ensure that the fleet is equipped for the winter months here on the west coast. Storms, high water and ice are elements that have a major impact how we can operate in the archipelago during this time of the year. It will then place even higher demands on the technical solutions during this season. We know with 100 years of experience that there is only a certain type of vessel that can master those conditions. Another challenge is the Swedish Transport Agency rules and requirements for battery installations. That has to be updated quite fast. In order to carry out projects for rebuilding to battery operation, a simple regulatory framework is required to follow. Risk analysis for safety systems around installations are extensive for each specific vessel, which make it difficult for the ship owner to move forward, and the costs of the projects are just speculations. Today, projects are started where the outcome is uncertain, and a lot of time and money is spent before the owner know if the solutions will be approved. Most of our ships are not under any classification, but the responsibility stays for the ship owner itself in SDA's self-monitoring system, a system that was introduced in 2018. This system applies to Styrsöbolagets fleet, which make it somewhat more complicated and more gray areas exist for these projects. Several projects are ongoing on the area of standardization of battery installations for the marine sector, and our hope is it may soon be available to use. Fire safety is, of course, the hardest part. We also see the technical progress going very fast. In retrofit, you also need to make a new electrical technology interconnected with the old one. The experience around this is that it can sometimes be quite difficult. There is and will be a great demand for support in these areas. We see today lies with a few companies. The tech support is limited to quite a few companies. Yes. Our latest project is Älvsnabben 4. Styrsöbolaget are taking a step towards the battery operation with Älvsnabben 4. In the end of this week, test drives are expected on Övarvet. The technical solutions on the Älvsnabben 4 is a transmission coupling that will make the ships adaptable for the current traffic mission. Batteries and internal combustion engines share the power output, a solution seen on several other ships, also mentioned as peak shaving or hybrid system. It will be possible to expand the battery capacity in the future and make charging of the battery banks available during or in combination of the operating part of the time schedule.
but we could say that that it's possible to run the traffic in 100% with electricity for S4 today as well, even though we need more batteries. So it's Elvi?
Elvi and Eloise, projects where I'm very proud of to be involved in, of course. These 2 ferries out of 4 are owned by Västtrafik. Västtrafik is city of Gothenburg. But Styrsöbolaget has full operational responsibility for maintenance and crew. Elvi and Eloise were built in Finland, in Tyvenöy, in Uusikaupunki in 2019 and 2022. The battery capacity is quite large to the size of the vessels. And the reason is that the charging takes place only outside the operation on timetable, usually at nighttime. The battery capacity is around 1 megawatt, and 70 to 100% provides the vessels with green electricity during the normal traffic day of 7 to 14 hours. The sister ships Elvi and Elfrida, we hope, are expected soon to be projected for the future requirements for fossil-free operation. And at the last, we see the big question about new building or reconstruction, a new construction. Several successful projects exist where they have been creative in order to adapt new technology with the older. Our sister company, Blidösund, in the middle there, they have rebuilt Rex in 2020, an old ship built in 1937 that with the same technology we have installed on S4, they will reduce their CO2 emissions by 45%. Another ongoing project in Stockholm is the Ressel Rederi. They installed old batteries from vehicles into as an energy source in the ferries Lotten and Lisen. Havnebussarna in Copenhagen are also a good example of how to complete switch an existing ferry line to a modern, environmentally friendly alternative. Swedship Marine, which also is our partner, they have a successful projects with smaller battery ferries to Fredrikstad in Norway. So everything is possible. So to end our time here up on the stage, the summary is the solutions are there. We can begin yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Except for the emission, what more can you? Is there any other benefits that can come out for this?
Of course, they are a bit quieter, so that's not that much noise. Not from the ships. We are running our ferries in the cities, close to where people live. So it's important to have a quiet service. And of course, it's a less vibration, and we can also see less cost for maintenance, because an electrical engine is more efficient than a diesel or a combustion engine. So
what is the most successful factor, do you think, in the whole process from to today?
The environment friendly alternative, of course. And we even see that people are interested in those projects. Everyone talk about it. They are, yes, they are interested in the projects.
Yes.
It's for everyone to be involved in, I think.
Mm-hmm. And what does the crew say? Do they think that this is interesting?
Absolutely, but it's also it's a difficult technology that is very small. As I said, there are a few companies that really can help us with this tech support. And
Yes.
of course, this will be something for us to handle in the future.
Of course.
And it's quite difficult.
Yes. So more knowledge needs.
Absolutely.
Yes. So when do you think that we can have electric vessels over here to Dunse Shipping Meet?
I think that next year, perhaps we can take Älvsnabben 4 out for service, and but in a couple of years, definitely. We only have 13 years, and we have to change our total fleet. So in a couple of years, but there's some challenges, really.
We look forward to that. And I hope that you do as well.
Yes.
Of course. Thank you so much, Elinor and Torbjörn from Styrsöbolaget.
Tack.